Welcome to the 7-Minute Takeover, everyone. We are back with another acquisition conversation in just 7 minutes. I'm Liz, joined by my co-host, Eamonn. How's it going, Eamonn?
Hey there.
Today, we are chatting about one of our Mythbusters. So today, our topic is, you'll know the right business when you see it. Spoiler alert, it's not always love at first sight. So let's dive in.
Yeah, this is an interesting myth, and well, we'll see if it's a myth or not, but certainly a lot of folks that come into the search process, they think they're going to walk in, they're going to spot that business that matches their skill set perfectly, that's at the same time interesting, it's at the same time niche, it's at the same time stable, and it's everything that they ever wanted and dreamed. And you know, the marketplace is typically a little bit more messy than that. So, Liz, how do we go about thinking about finding that right business?
Well, a lot of people can feel like it's about meeting your soulmate, and you look across a crowded room and there they are, and all of a sudden everything.
Does that happen?
No. Did it happen for you? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. In retrospect, yes, sure. My wife may be watching this.
Yeah, better keep it kosher. We like a lot of people, I think, when they first start out their search, they feel like it'll be easier than it actually is in reality. And in reality, it's more like it's a journey, it's a journey of trial and errors and self-discovery. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think the one thing you can expect is surprises. We've seen people that have walked into this process hoping to buy a software or a SaaS company, and then ending up at the end of the day with a boring but profitable HVAC company that is much more suitable for their lifestyle and their skill set. Data backs this up. If you ask around, about 60% of searchers pivot industries during their search.
Yeah, and I think introspection is huge and often underestimated. So, it's very much about you and not just about the business. You've got to ask yourself about what your skills and what you bring to the business and how you can add value to this business. And also, what kind of a life do you want? Can this business provide the lifestyle or the flexibility that you're hoping to find in entrepreneurship? And can you handle it? And is it stable enough for you to meet your goals?
So Liz, if we had to break this down into a process, so let's assume for a second that not everybody finds their perfect company at first sight. If you had to break this down into a process, where should you start?
So I'd start by getting clear on paper about, what's your type on paper. At least it's a starting point. Like, knowing it can change is fine. Understanding that things evolve is a really good place to come from. But you've got to get clear in the beginning about what you think it looks like. So start with revenue range. Think of industry sectors that you'd be comfortable in, or that you come from a knowledge of, or that you're interested in. Think about growth potential and starting to narrow it down. And then the other factor is location. And sometimes, think of it really specifically. Like, if you had to travel from your home base to get to the business, and how often do you need to get there? Are you in there every day? So do you want it to be, not more than a 1-hour radius from your home? Or are you even more limited? Are you looking for a 30-minute radius? Or are you looking for a business that's a little bit bigger, and so you'd be willing to travel? And I know that some searchers have a rule around, it has to be within one plane ride. If I can get there one plane ride away, then I'm okay with that. So kind of setting some parameters around location can be really healthy for the search too. So step 2, Eamonn?
Step 2, well, the first step that you described, it's fairly easy. You can do it from the comfort of your own home office. Step 2 could be a little bit less comfortable for some folks, and that's getting in the game. You can't browse online listings forever. You got to go out there and take a few swings at the ball. So going and talking to owners, visiting businesses, asking brokers the hard questions, signing NDAs, evaluating SIMs, doing a little bit of math. Each at bat is going to teach you something. We've certainly spoken with people that have looked at upwards of 50 businesses, and I'm talking about getting into NDAs with 50 businesses. before they ended up with the right one. So step 2 can be a little bit scary, but it's required to make sure that you know what type of company you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely look to expand your network and think of who else touches a business. The business owner community is all those different types of business advisors too, is, you know, lawyers and accountants, exit planners, wealth managers. They all have relationships with business owners. So get out, hit the streets, and let the world know you're looking to buy a business. But step 3 is reflection. So every business that you look at and consider for yourself, do some reflection after you've passed on it and decided it's not for you, is reflect on why. And over time, those patterns will emerge and you'll be able to refine your search and hone in on something that actually is more of a fit for you than your original criteria that you've set out.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, you know, those are the 3 steps, and just the overall message is, you know, don't rush it. You don't need to feel like that first business you saw was your one and only, and you're never going to find that type of business ever again. So the average search can take about 12 to 24 months, and that's not failure. That's doing the work. You know, rushing into buying a business can be the cause of a lot of grief down the road.
Absolutely. And it's hard to don't get too discouraged too if things are taking a long time. Some people will look for a business for years. So if you're really dedicated to finding one, it'll come along, and stay motivated. My last point would be that don't ignore the gut check. So this is where the myth is to a degree has some truth in it, that you'll know it when you see it. So the right business will check against your search criteria, and the data will check out, but as well, you'll start to feel that it does feel right, that this can fit you, and you are a good fit for it. So that's where I think there is some truth in the myth, that you'll know it when you see it, when it feels right, but then also it's checking all the boxes, and the data is true.
So, you know, be patient, stay disciplined, stay curious, don't be afraid to pivot. The perfect business may just surprise you, and I guess that's kind of the fun part, right, Liz?
Absolutely. We see purchasers all the time be really surprised at the one they actually landed on, and how happy they are with their choice, and how surprised they are at the same time. So that's it for our 7-minute takeover. If you're searching for a business, we have help in the Learning Center of Village Wealth, which helps you kind of determine some of these factors and hone in on some of your preferences and must-haves and deal breakers. So we have some worksheets, and then some recorded lessons on how to help refine that. And then we've got a real life tool in app that helps you kind of benchmark any business that you're looking at against your original search criteria in the app. So that's it for today, Eamon.
All right, well, keep searching, keep learning, have fun, and you'll know it when you see it, maybe.
Hopefully.
See you next.
Everybody, take care.